Only new birth, y'all. Look at the person beside you. Tell them never scared, never scared. Ooh-wee.
Never scared. Never scared, never scared.
All things theology, we chop it up properly, without an apology. Gotta give that theology to God, hollow be, cause this is how we do it at All Things Theology.
Yo, grace and peace. Welcome back to another episode of All Things Theology, where this is your host, K-Dub, and today we got to talk about one of y'all's favorite here on the channel, and that's Jamal Bryant, and what I can only describe as one of the most racist sermons I've ever heard. And I'm talking about racist towards whites, racist to blacks. He don't agree with them, right? Just downright should never be tolerated, especially considering the text he's going to use to justify it. But before we get into the sermon, you know he's got to give you some of that bread in the pocket. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Lower thirds of the screen, I want you to partner with us. I want you to share. I want you to sow into what it is that God is giving. What an amazing legacy for a family to have property in that family for over 100 years. That's what I want God to be able to do for my family, for God to do for my client, for God to do for my children. I want you to stretch yourself. Those of you who are not yet at the place of tithing, next Sunday I'm going to be talking about a tithing challenge, because I want our entire church.
Don't he do that every week, right?
No.
He does that every week. I don't see what's going to be different next week, but we'll probably look at that as well.
In a posture and a position to sow and to give, even in calamitous times. Those of you that got outrageous faith, I want you to give a seed commensurate to your expectation. I'm going to give 600 because I want 600 acres.
But notice why you're giving. You're literally, the very thing the Bible says don't do, give to get, right? Not as an exaction, right? Which will be giving to get something in return. He's saying, I'm giving $600 because I want 600 acres.
I got bread in my pocket. Bread in my pocket. I got bread in my pocket. I got bread in my pocket. I got bread.
More members, more money. More members, more money. More members, more money. More members, more money.
Because more members, more money, more acres. We got to switch it up on y'all. Keep y'all on y'all's toes.
And some of y'all better give 40 because the government still owe you 40 acres and a mule. Amen. But I want you to not have a tenement mindset. I don't want you to have apartment conscientiousness. I want you to think in the understanding that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof.
Don't have an apartment, mindset. You need to have the whole world mindsets. Yeah. Be greedy.
It's you, but I'm talking to you. I so wish that you were here, but I am so glad that you're there. It only works if we all do it. There is power in agreement.
Notice the catch. It only works if all of us do it. So when what he's telling you and promising you doesn't come to pass, he has a caveat. I said we all got to do it. So that means one person in the room didn't do it. It's a way for them to escape the lies they just told you.
There is power in connection. Those of you who are prepared to give, would you lift up that phone if that's how you're giving? Through Givelify, push pay, text to give, lift up that phone.
Food stamps,
those of you who
credit.
are giving through check, through currency, I want you to lift up that
app,
envelope right where it is that you are, please.
Yeah, they take it all there, right? Okay, well, let's actually get into the sermon. Let's see what he's preaching. A text you're very familiar with, I'm sure. Let's hear it.
Yea, though I walk.
Psalm 23.
Bless the Lord. You may be seated.
Just a side note, my church recently preached on Psalm 23. Excellent sermon. I was just super edified by it. Not so much this sermon. Let's hear.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. I want to preach today using as a subject we ain't ever scared.
What in the bone crusher is happening? Now we're going to see what the "we ain't ever scared" is going to devolve into. Quite ridiculous, racist stuff we're about to hear. But let's keep listening.
Look at the person beside, tell they done picked the wrong one this time. Look him in the eye, tell him we ain't ever scared.
Hey, blackity black.
Only new birth, y'all.
Yeah.
Look at the person beside you, tell them never scared, never scared.
This is a mess.
Ooh-wee.
Never scared. Hey, never scared, never scared. Never scared, never scared. Hey, never scared, never scared. Hey, never scared, never scared. We ain't never scared, never scared. We ain't never scared, never scared. Last time, never scared, never scared.
You may be seated.
This is literally how the sermon started off. Look, we're like 2 minutes into the sermon, and we're already seeing utter ridiculous. But don't worry, there's more.
I want you to understand that the system wants us living in fear.
Let me just say this. That's possible, but what Jamal Bryant is the one who is a part of the system who actually wants black people to be scared. And the fear he always is peddling is, if you don't do what I'm saying, i.e. boycott Target, which that's going to come up in this sermon as well. If you don't do that, then the white man is going to be hunting you down, right? You gotta scare the black people, right, to think like that. So you're always in this constant state of perpetual victimhood and fear that if we're not fighting for social justice, we always gonna be slaves, masters. I mean, that's the constant fear you want black people to live by. Am I denying injustice? Absolutely not. There's certain injustice historically black people have gone through. I mean, many people have gone through, but this fear is unsubstantiated.
With 300 executive orders in just 30 days, they want us so overwhelmed that you don't even want to watch the news. You're stressed by every alert that comes to your phone.
And one thing you're going to do, Jamal Bryant going to tell you, because all his sermons are based on the culture, not the exegesis of scripture.
You're beginning to feel powerless. But might I remind you that God has not given us the spirit of fear, of love, of power, and of a sound mind. Mahatma Gandhi said, first they ignore you.
Gandhi.
Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you. And then you win.
I mean, this sermon was a mess. He was quoting Gandhi, Joyce Myers, anybody, right? It was a mess. But let's keep going in this sermon. Let's see this.
What America doesn't understand is at this tick of the watch, what can you threaten black people with that we haven't already lived through before?
And yeah, historically, black people have gone through a lot, right? No question, no denying that. But black people then would have loved to have been in your shoes, Jamal. I mean, the advancements that have been made and the things these guys be whining about. Whining. You mad because Target got rid of DI. Let's think you think that's the worst thing ever, right? Or clearly you can still work at Target. Clearly you can still have a job, education to better yourself. I mean, okay, whatever, right? I mean, anyways.
We already couldn't go to your schools. We already couldn't live in your neighborhood. We already couldn't shop in your store. Wait.
You can't shop at certain stores now? You can't go to certain colleges? There ain't no white only colleges. What store can't you shop at? What neighborhood can't you live in? Look, let me just tell you something. You got the money. You can do just about anything in America, for better or for worse. I'm not saying it's always moral, but unfortunately that's how the case. Look, if you got enough green, you can do a lot.
Already had to sit in the back of the bus. We already filled out your jail. We already had our zip codes redlined. We already had our votes suppressed. We already had our families separated. We already had our men profiled. We already had our women objectified. What you think you gonna do new that's gonna be able to intimidate us? Black people got soundtrack music. Yea, though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
So Psalm 23 is the black man's theme song. I thought it was Shaft.
No.
This sermon, as you're saying, has nothing to do with Psalm 23.
We will fear no evil.
Why she got a mask on?
It is their master plan to make you live in fear, so you don't fight back, so you don't lift up your voice.
Notice, it's their plan that you live in fear. And this sermon is situated black people versus white people. We're going to keep listening.
So you don't kick against the prick. Fear is the only weapon that white supremacy has. In the words of Huey P. Newton, we are not outnumbered, we're outorganized. Fear will make you surrender before the battle. Fear will make you wave the white flag while you're seeing red. Fear will have you begging on your knees when you should be standing on your feet. And David reminds all of us today, yea, though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, fear no evil. I want you to hear the language of David. He said, I walk through the valley, hear this, of the shadow of death, not the valley of death. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Stop shadow boxing. It's one thing for you to run from a lion, but it's something else for you to run from the shadow of a lion.
Let me just say something, because the point of the text is, if there's a shadow, something close, a threat, an enemy is close. If you see a lying shadow, you better run, because the lion is real close. That's the point of the text. But he missed it. He missed it, right?
One thing to run from a man with a knife, is another thing to run from the shadow of a man holding a knife. You got to understand that the shadow is not real. The presence of an actual knife is danger, but the shadow of the knife is just fear. Y'all been praying for me all week. You've been nervous all week, but I ain't afraid of the spooks that sat at the door. These runaway slaves hiding in the White House gonna throw my picture up thinking that I'm gonna be afraid.
So there is a black conservative event. They were celebrating, funny enough, Black History Month, and the White House invited 300 or so, quite a large amount of black conservatives, maybe content creators. I'm not sure on how they got invited, but they were invited to celebrate Black History Month, right? And so I guess they put Jamal Bryant's picture up there, and I don't know the purpose or the intent. I don't really care. I mean, he's a false teacher, right? Let alone. And so you would think Jamal would be like, oh, that's great. Look at those brothers getting invited. Maybe they can tackle some black issues I won't solve. No, he sees this as an ultimate sign of selling out. He's about to go in on them. Watch.
If you got real courage, don't show my picture. Show the picture of the one that fired the black Joint Chief of Staff from the military.
So here's what I don't get. When you fire a black person, it's because you're a racist. Then when you hire a black person, right, like the FBI director, it's because you're right? You're racist as well, right? Oh yeah, that's the wrong black person, right? And so it's like you never can win. I don't like this kind of racial kind of tension we are in today, right? You got to always have a certain amount of black people, quotas, to make the certain people happy. But then if you have the quotas, you're racist for having quotas. It's like, you can't make these people happy for no reason. Now I say these people, talking about people like Jamal.
If you gonna show a picture of the CEO of Target, Walmart, McDonald's, and Amazon that does not recognize black dollars or black business. If you gonna...
Ain't nobody said you can't shop at McDonald's, Target, or Walmart. Ain't nobody said that. These companies have recognized that playing into the woke narrative does not benefit you financially. And they say we're done with that. Nobody said you can't shop here no more. You just making up stuff.
Put up a picture of the state legislators in Florida that are banning black books. If you gonna put up a picture, put up the picture of the one who is stealing.
Look at Granny over there. She don't know what's being said.
Classified information from the IRS and Social Security. If you gonna put up a picture of those that don't want your mama to pay $35 for insulin and your child to pay $35 for inhaler. If you gonna put up a picture of those that are jailing children and separating families. I ain't ever scared. In case you forgot, I'm from the west side of Baltimore. If you got a problem, pull up on me.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Now, I want to say a couple things. So if I show up to Jamal's church, would he be willing to have a conversation? He's never scared, right? Mr. Baltimore, right? But I'm glad he said that because he literally got ran out of the city of Baltimore. And I'm sure whenever he has to go back wearing his Scully, right? He got to go back wearing in disguise because check it out.
Man, can I holler at you, man? Check this out. This is what we want to know, right? I'm the streets, man. What I want to know, man, cold-blooded, man. You, like I'm saying, man, you say you for the people. You got our people all up in your church. You know what I mean? You're supposed to lead these people, man. And I mean, I understand that y'all stuff, but you had no answers for, like, yo, man, then you come down here, like, late, like, top up on the ground, like 100, like 300-something days. You down here now. Don't come.
What'd you do for Taco
We don't want you nowhere in our city, yo. Like, we don't even want you on our streets. Like, you disrespect our streets, man. This me, PFK Boom. I was on the front, you disrespected up here north, and you came down there, you ain't even fighting no war with us, yo. You ain't had nothing on your show, you ain't had no guns or nothing. And then with our oppressors. What you mean, how you brawling Blake and all them, man? You trying to kill us, man.
Where were you for
That's you
Tyrone
are,
West?
man. Well, we telling you are. The streets feel like you killing us, man. All right. No, we don't want you in the city now. Get the out the whole city. Is it that easy that we can really get you the out of here?
No, sir.
Well, you check this out, man. Don't come nowhere down here no more. Wherever PFK Boom at, don't come. I know you can tell your henchmen. I know you, yo, Tinidi and all them. I know you before I seen right about all that. Get the henchmen. Don't come down here no more. Boom said it. Me, as a man, the streets don't want you here. I'm speaking for them. So we see you here. Okay. So you said you won't come on my streets no more, right? Don't bring your down here no more. I mean it, yo. On my kids, yo. Cause you're a disgrace, a guardian angel for Satan. For who? Cause you damn sure ain't guard me. Get the up out of here.
What you do Tyrone West again?
Empower what?
And look, let me just say something. I don't think he actually handled himself poorly in that conversation, right? He surely can't escalate. Would have got beat up, obviously, right? I think as a pastor, the best thing to do is to de-escalate, not escalate things, and right, that would have been a bad look. But don't play yourself like you're some bully, right? When you're talking to some of these white folks and some of these people right now in your face, and then you have this in your background. You're not the guy you think you are. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you should have done anything differently, but don't act like the tough guy you're not. That's all my point is. But let's get back to the rest of this sermon. We got some more to talk about because he's about to go in on these people at the White House, these black people at the White House again. Let's listen to this.
All these other churches might not say nothing, but at 6400 Woodrow, we right outside of Decatur where it's greater. You got to understand that there is more for us than there are against us. Look at your neighbor and say, as long as we stick together, we ain't gotta run. Harriet Tubman said, whenever I tried to make our people be free, there were a few Negroes that tried to go backwards and tried to risk our freedom. I feel bad for them coons in the White House. No.
How dare you?
So the black conservatives at the White House, these are the coons who are trying to prevent black people from being free, like Harriet Tubman. You see, the thing he's actually painting is not the actuality. Every black person is free. You got some people, mainly the black conservatives, saying, no, you work hard. These policies you're actually promoting, a lot of the Democratic policies, aren't actually helpful for black people. But even the people ain't calling them coons and sellouts. See, that's the unfortunate part I see with a lot of Democratic people. Once you step out of and I'm not going to use vitriolic language like he did. Once you step out of line, what you usually get is you get, Uncle Tom, sellout, coon, right? It's like a lot of these people kind of have this ideology. You have to think a certain way to be black. Now, I'm not proving nobody to be. I'm black, whether you like it or you don't, right? It's just ridiculous nonsense.
Who are in there tap dancing for massa, wearing bow ties, shinning and grinding.
Now, let's just say this, because right, he thinks it's tap dancing for massa, right? You're putting on your shucking and jiving. Yes, a boss. Yes, a Trump. Anything Trump? Well, how Trump? Okay, I'll do it, boss. That's kind of what he thinks of these black people going there. That's very unfortunate because anybody who's ever tried to sit down with Trump has been painted this way. I'll give you an example. What's his name? Ice Cube. He's not a Republican. He's not a conservative, but he had the position that, hey, look, if we're going to get the change we're talking about, we got to sit down and talk to the man. You know what he got? All sorts of vitriol, all sorts of sellout, your Uncle Ice Cube. And he was like perplexed at all this. These guys aren't going to get any of the change they want because they're the ones just calling people names, right? You're never going to get the sit down with Trump you want, or that is, I would say, is necessary if you say, look, we have all these social stuff we need to bring about. Well, why would he help y'all? Because y'all the dudes just calling him racist every 2 seconds. This is nonsense.
Laughing like nothing is funny. Get out of there, Negro, and stand with your people so that you understand.
See, you got to stand with your people. Over there with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, you got to stand with your people. This is nonsense. Black people are not a monolith. No one has to agree with you politically. They're still black. I mean, I don't care who you vote for. If you're black, you're black. This is nonsense.
God is on our side.
Complete, utter foolishness. Wouldn't you agree?
You got to stop doing that. You've got to stop doing that.
I just want you to hear this. Watch this.
In the world, are you able to walk when it is that they took Joy Reid off of MSNBC?
Yeah, she got fired on her day off. Joy Reid. Yeah, she got fired. You know why? Because people are tired of hearing that nonsense. This woman is one of the most craziest, racist people on television. All the while calling everybody, all the white people racist nonsense, right? But yeah, she spews a lot of the same nonsense rhetoric that Jamal Bryant does.
Most fearless black woman on television.
Fearless.
How were you able to walk? They don't understand. We ain't regular smuggler. He anoints my head with oil. God help me in here. Some of y'all can't.
Just in case you forgot, we're still in Psalm 23.
Because you ain't got an anointing. What's keeping me alive ain't the Democratic Party or the NAACP or the Urban League. It's because I am anointed from the top of my head to the sole of my feet. When I got up this morning, when my feet hit the floor, the devil said, there go a dangerous black man right there. No.
I never thought I'd say this, but I think I agree with Satan.
I'm tired of church.
I never thought I'd say that in my life, ever, but I think I agree. Maybe for different reasons. All right, let's keep going.
Shout, I fear no evil. Why? Because his rod and his staff, they comfort me. See, you've been quoting this all these years, but you didn't even understand what the rod was for. The shepherd uses the rod to beat back the wolves before they can get to the sheep. God said, if you give me glory, every wolf that's been assigned at your people.
Now, I want you to hear what he's saying, because he's already clarified this situation. So the wolf is either white people or these black conservatives who don't line up what he's saying. He's saying God is going to beat these wolves. Well, I agree with the theological statement. Yes, God uses the rod to beat back the wolves. But the application is clearly off.
It's about to be beaten back. Every person that think they're going to take away your mama's benefits and your grandfather's strides is getting ready to be beaten back. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, we ain't ever scared.
So clearly the wolf in this context is the Republican. Let me just tell you this. There are going to be Republicans and Democrats and libertarians in hell. Right? This is just weird that you are making Psalm 23 political like this. Just utter absurdity. All right, one more clip. Let's talk about it here.
Friday, I was flying back from Ohio. That hand is lifted. I was flying back from Ohio from preaching the night before. I got off the plane and my phone started blowing up, saying, Pastor, where are you? I said, I just landed. What's wrong? I said, are you anywhere near television? I said, no, I'm nowhere near television. He said, turn on your computer and get to C-SPAN. Go to the White House website. They got a Black History program. So they celebrating Black History at the White House, where they said that it's illegal,
That's not what they said.
where schools will get defunded, where companies will not be able to get access to capital. That White House. So yeah, they having a Black History program. And 3 people are walking around in the East Room holding up pictures of you. I said, oh, that's nice. They honoring me for Black History Month. Look, mama, we made it, huh? He said, under that picture of you, they got signs that say race baiter. And of all the people, they picked you.
Yeah.
And they can't understand how they got pictures of you, watch this, on signs and got it through security. How'd they get the sticks through security?
Obviously, they were allowed.
How'd they have all kinds of meetings trying to figure out what is getting ready to happen? Because in the same hour that they lifted up my pictures, the same hour that they installed the new FBI director. Said, Pastor, whatever you do, don't preach on Sunday.
Now, this man was warned, because that person, whoever was talking to him, knew Jamal Bryant was going to make their sermon about that situation. So he's letting the cat out the bag of why he actually preached this sermon. Now, Psalm 23 had nothing to do with it, but the whole sermon and the motivation was seeing his face in the White House by these black conservatives, black Republicans.
It's obvious you've been marked, you've been called out, and for some reason, you are on the radar. Said, I ain't had no marches. I had no protests. Why they signal me out?
Yeah. Let me help you with your little self-awareness, Jamal, because every week your sermons are political shots at them. That's why. That's probably why. Look, I'm trying to be fair here.
Ain't saying nothing. Till it dawned on me that we are just about to break the back of Target.
Target ain't going nowhere, bro.
No.
Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. And they knew if we break them, everything else is getting ready to fall apart.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Oh my goodness. So apparently if you take out Target, white supremacy is about to fall apart. Yeah, that's it. Because everybody knows white supremacists love Target. It's in the name. This is just silly and outlandish, man. Again, look, you want to do your Target boycott thing. Whatever. I don't care. I think your reasons are silly. But whatever. You have the right to do what you want. Free country, freedom of speech, whatever, right? Just complete nonsense that every week you hear politically charged messages. And this one was just outright racist. Yes, to black people, for sure. Because it says, hey, unless you think like me, you're a sellout. You're not really black. It's unfortunate that kind of thinking is very prominent in much of black circles. But again, did not like that message. Hopefully you didn't either. But hopefully you enjoy the commentary. Until the next time, grace and peace. Oh, grace and peace. Thank you for watching another episode of All Things Theology. If you enjoyed what you heard today, go on and give me a like. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. I promise to give you weekly lives, videos, interactions, exposing false teachers, sharing with you, the viewer, my theological beliefs, things about the culture, and the Bible. So if you're here for that, come on and join us. Also, if you would like to support this channel financially, you can do so by becoming a Patreon member or a YouTube member. Links are in the description below. You can see content before it drops. You can also have Q&A sessions with also other Patreon members, YouTube members as well. So if you would like that, hit the description link in below.